Hello traders, Sean at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the USO, the UUP, the GLD, the TLT, and the GDXJ. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like the videos, go to my website, sign up, it's free. Or click down here in the bottom right hand corner to subscribe to me on YouTube. And thanks again, guys, for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. All right, 25 million on the day, 1.27% or 12 cents going green. Came right into these pivots, 50 MA, holding it down. We also had the 50% retrace from this high pivot to this low pivot, so let's see if that holds. Bottom line, guys, as long as it's holding this trend line, holding the 20 MA, and if it gets above the 50, then you're in a stronger bullish stance. Still slightly bearish overall because we're retracing back up, but that will, you got a little chop here, pretty much boom, and then back down, and then let's see if we go a little bit higher this time. This is going to be one of the big areas here. Then the next one will be into the 200, this high retrace or this high pivot. Gap fill, trend line, this is the big one right here. If it cracks through there, then we'll have to see. 11.24, and then of course a $12 area up in this region up here north. So now if we stay back below the 50 and it starts chopping, then we'll wait for pattern for a possible bullish pattern pop up. Or do we just kind of come back in and start to bleed? I still believe we have lower prices to come because in higher oil is not in Janet Yellen's future. Maybe a short-term pop and then the next leg down, but right now okay, back above the 20. Let's watch where it closes on Monday, Tuesday. I want to see if they gap this thing up and continue it going, or do we start going sideways? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that will tell us a little bit more, especially going into Wednesday with the report. So watch for that. Let's get to the weekly. Pretty much the same story with the weekly. We're back below the MAs, just kind of chopping around. Nothing too important. Down sideways. Let's see if we could retrace back to the 618 and then the 20 MA and then the 50 MA up in this area. We're still below it, chopping around, still slightly bearish. If we do crack these lows, I still think 760, 750 still in the cards. We'll stop at 850, this pivot here, but I still think we could come back down here after maybe a little more retrace, just waiting for pattern here on the USO. And the weekly close, it was okay. Nice, just kind of did the same thing here, grinding up, grinding down on news. Whatever Wednesday they bring out the shovel and they tell you more stuff. Let's go into the UUP. UUP, another down day. Not the worst, not the best, but starting to come back in. Weekly chart, you can see it too. Makes a high, comes in, retraces to a lower high, comes in, lower high, comes in, lower high, and that's pretty much what it's doing. I think it's going to go all the way down to here, 24 bucks. We've been talking on, especially on the daily, that same pattern, down sideways, just stair stepping. Big area for the bulls if you could crack above this trend line. Continues to go lower, and this thing continues to go lower as well. So now we're, if it could retrace and come up and chop around, eventually you're going to get there, and that's where you might get that pop up on the dollar. Right now, the institutional money is short the dollar, and that's not helping the matter. I still think here's your target area, and you could possibly step up to buy a bounce there. If it cracks that, that's a good level, guys. You got some lower pivots down here, some gaps to fill, but that's a real good area of support with these pivots, this pivot. So let's see if we can make it down there. We might be initiating a long dollar trade. That's the weekly. Let's go into the daily real quick, though. See, that's what I was talking about. Up, down, sideways, you get the little head fake, down. Sideways, you get the little head fake, down. And now you're starting to go down again. 24 bucks, that was the area that we had on the weekly. Let's see if the dollar can get there. But yeah, week below, below the MAs on this one too. Just like the strong names, the SPY and all that. This is just like the SPY, but inverted. So, and now it's down sideways and starting to roll. So let's keep an eye on the UUP. Again, 24 bucks in this area. We'll see how it starts to react. Eventually, it will catch a bid. It's just a matter of when, and hopefully we can catch that move up. Let's look at the GLD. GLD, guys, still chopping around. Gosh, we got down here. We were talking about this pivot. If it crashes to the pivot, we're definitely going down in this area here around the 114 area. But, let's see what pattern it brings. Then it came in here, shook some more people out, had a nice reversal, pop gapped up. Remember, when you don't want to deal with resistance or support, you just gap things up or down and keep this thing going. Gap up, pause for 2 days, then the next gap up above gap fill. They don't want to deal with it. So I'm thinking we get one more gap up here. Let me open this up a little bit. One more gap it up right in here. 118 gap up, that would be beautiful. Let's see if we get a chop Because remember, 20 MA is coming into price, so that could possibly push this one down. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is actually going to be real big for this one. Let's see where if this goes sideways for up, or does it get rejected and come down? If it gets rejected and comes down, we'll have to look at it. Right now it is weak. I got to see what it does Monday, Tuesday, and then we'll do a video out next week to show what I think it's going to possibly do. I just need to see a little more on the charts. I do like what I see on the weekly. We had a nice engulfing, and we closed almost at the high, still back below here. And the one thing I don't like, we're still back. We're still below this big trend line. We got to get above there. Even on a weekly close, I'd love to get above 119.24. This blue line. That's actually 22. If we could get a push up that gap, look at that gap fill, 200 trend line. How much resistance is it? It's got to gap up and go. So watch for the gap and go on this one. But again, up. We're in this channel, going sideways. So let's see what the next week and the next couple days brings, and then we'll do another video and take a look. And I'm just looking for this is huge right here. If you want higher prices, someone's got to spread some news and gap it up and get it going here. It'll be above all of them. It'll be funny. It'll be like gap up and rip it. And I think we get back to here. I'm still thinking up here around 131 or so. So right now we're kind of in between. If it dips down, we'll buy more here. If it goes up to there, we'll be selling our position and we'll be done. So that's the GLD. Let's see what we get done the next couple days of the following week. TLT. TLT, same thing, guys. Great push. I mean, pretty much same thing. Boom, down, going sideways now in the weekly. Still holding the 20 and the 200. It's still okay, guys. Making higher lows, so nothing wrong. This is the weekly chart, so it's a little bit bigger time frame. Volume wasn't bad this week. It's been pretty much consistent, so I'm not too worried about that. But this is the big area, guys. 131.16, that's your big breakdown bar. You got to get above that if you're a bull. And of course the MAs and all that stuff. But if this thing just kind of chops down and sideways now, I think this thing's setting up for another down move. We'll have to keep an eye on it, but gosh, it's just a little bit weak right here. That's the weekly though, so the patterns, you had a 2-week pullback and a little bit of a pause week. Let's look at the daily. Daily, yeah, daily still down and sideways. It got rejected here. We never even made it to gap fill up in that area. And gosh, 1, 2, 3, 6 days sideways below the 50 and the 20. Still holding the 200. People will say, oh, it's bullish. It's holding the 200 on the daily. But man, down sideways. I think this is setting up for lower prices. If it could get back into 120. Man, if he could fill this gap right here at 117, I would get interested in. But just let's see what's going on. And again, like the gold position, look at the trend line. If this thing gets below it, then we can shoot down. But eventually, this is going to catch a bid somewhere. We had the pullback here, the pullback here. Let's see if we have one more, because everyone's chasing it up here at this point. Oh my gosh, it's going. And then CNBC talks about it. So just watch out. They're shaking people out. They could do one more shakedown into here and then possibly fill these gaps down in this area. So watch for that. And then let's look at the GDXJ. And this will follow the JNUG, guys. So if you guys follow JNUG, this is a good chart. This pretty much leads that one up or down or what have you. So we came in, got a nice follow-through day right here. Nice reversal. Did fill the gap. Went sideways, trying to recapture the MAs, guys. It's having some stall outs. This is big area resistance. So let's see if we chop around sideways. Overall, down, bearish stance, but this is slightly up and sideways is slightly bullish. So let's see if we could chop, and then shoot up. Or the best part, or the best one is, you know what it is, guys, gap it up. Or gap it up this one too. This was your big trend line, but see how everything's kind of, you just didn't get a big breakdown and down. I mean, that was a big trend line for the breakdown, and it just held up and pretty much reverse right going, the opposite side. So got to recapture the MAs if you're bullish, fill the gap, and continue up to the 200. 200 keeps curling down to lower prices, but eventually I think this one gets up to this area here. Not doing too much. We're not in this trade at all, or the JNUG, but I would like this one down a little bit lower around the 27.43 area. That's where I would like that one. So watch for that. Still a little bit bearish. If it makes it there, great. If it doesn't, I'm in a GLD trade. That's the one I'm in right now, and I'm going to ride that one up. But this one, kind of have a mind of its own. If you trade it, you know what I'm talking about. Weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing. There's your big trend line below the MAs, and it did recapture the 200. So that's slight. Remember what everyone says on CNBC. It's slightly bullish now. Carried it, but that's a weekly chart, guys. Nice reversal. Didn't engulf it all the way, but almost 75%. Now, second step above the 20. boom, get to this area, then yeah, you got great resistance up in here. So either way, slightly bearish. If it starts to break, I'm looking for 127 or 27.39, this low pivot here. If it doesn't make it, then it's going to go up without me. If it goes up here, maybe in this 43 area, $40 area, maybe thinking about taking the dust one or the J dust or whatever, something like that. So either way, guys, right now, if it goes up, great. If it goes down, then we'll be looking for support. If it goes up, we're looking for resistance to short it. So all right, guys, if you like the videos, like I said, go to my website, sign up, it's free, subscribe to me down here. And again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my videos. I really do appreciate it. I love putting them out for you guys, and I hope someone's learning out there and possibly even getting them out of some trouble. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Have a great weekend, and God bless. See you on the charts.